Okay, so this week's Monday Makeup, we are talking all about makeup tools. So, quite commonly, I always get asked in clinic exactly what brushes do I need to be using with certain brands from the clinic. So, today we're going to be going through our top choices that will literally be all you need in your makeup bag. And to be honest, it's actually a lot less than what people may think. So, Josie, take it away.
Hi guys. So yes, all about makeup brushes. Again, I think like makeup, it's a bit of a minefield. You can sometimes think you need about 20 different brushes or what kind of is best to use with what products. But we're here to tell you, you don't actually need to have that many, whether or not you are a makeup enthusiast like ourselves, and you want to maybe just try some new brushes, or if you're someone that just likes to wear makeup and is just looking to find some great basic tools, like 5 or 6 that you can just have in your makeup bag. So we'll start off with base. So my top favorite for foundation would be, oh, almost dropped it. She has dropped it. Is the Hollywood complexion brush. This is from Charlotte Tilbury. The reason why I absolutely love this brush is mainly because it's double-ended and it's also nice and dense. So it's really great for cream products, for like pressing into the skin or really buffing it in to get like a really nice seamless finish with your foundation. And then obviously it's super handy because you've got the smaller end for any smaller areas around the nose, eyes. So it's just a great one to have for people who are maybe on the go, want a quick 2-in-1 job. A great staple because it just does both jobs.
Amazing. So, similarly to Josie, from Jane Iredale, one of my go-tos for bases is more of a dense brush. Now, this one is called the Blending Contouring Brush. So, all of the brushes are synthetic. So, this one particularly is really nice and dense, but it's really fluffy as well. So, it isn't double-ended, but it is almost a 2-in-1 brush. So if I were to be applying one of the liquid foundation products, I find that this does give quite a medium coverage when we're actually applying it, because it does just press into the skin, similarly to how Josie just explained. But what I do also love about it is if you are someone that just is more of a tinted moisturizer and a concealer kind of girl, then you will need this to actually use for when you're applying bronzer or blush. So, hence the name Blending Contour Brush. It is perfect for applying any sort of bronzer or warmth or blush to the contours of the skin. So that's one of my topics.
And then moving on, we're still keeping on the face. Is next up is these two. So we have got the sculpting brush, which is more of like a thinner sort of tapered brush. So I personally love this one for applying powder, so just down my T-zone. It's also really nice for if you've got like cream blushes to put on the apples of the cheeks, and then also for getting a little bit more of that chiseled bronzed contour. So this one again is like a multi-use one, but mainly I like to use it for my powder. And then we have also got the bronzer and blusher brush. So this one again is a little bit chubbier, a little bit more dense. This is really great for really getting your bronzer and then packing it on, so you're covering a bigger area. So especially when you're doing bronzer, you kind of just put it a little bit everywhere. So it's perfect for kind of not thinking, don't have to worry about where you're popping it. You can just blend it in, it does it seamlessly, and it just does the job. And then obviously you can also use it for your blush. So if you're someone again who wants one that can do both, do your bronzer, wipe it off on the back of your hand, go in with your blusher, and then follow it up and does both.
Yeah, I think that's what I absolutely love about tools as well, is that there's not just one brush that fits all. It's all about how much coverage you can build on the skin using a different tool. So for example, sponges are, all the trend at the moment. And for our makeup at Jane Iredale, it's actually one that is perfect for kind of building more of a fuller coverage. So if you want more of a fuller coverage, a sponge would be more preferable. But if we stick to the bases now with Jane Iredale, I'm going to introduce two of my absolute holy grail powder brushes. So I'm going to start with the Handy. Now, the Handy is very dense, okay? So on the end, it's really lovely and it's just packed together. This one is perfect for the Pure Pressed Powder foundation. Now, as I just said, the Pure Pressed Powder is actually a foundation, but it can be applied on top of your liquids. So when you're applying this, you need to be applying it in downward strokes onto the skin. So what this is going to do is it's going to allow that powder to really set beautifully on the skin, and it's going to just rest perfectly on top of liquids or as a standalone finish. But if you're somebody that is a bit oilier, that wants more of a mattifying powder, something that's going to give you coverage, this is the tool for you. And then similarly to a tool that Josie just mentioned, this is the Chisel powder brush from Jane Iredale. This one is perfect for loose powder. So if you're somebody that wants just more of a dewy glow, something a little bit more effortless, again, you simply just apply in downward strokes to the skin, but this one you can kind of build. So if you want to go in with a second layer to build up more of a coverage, this one is perfect for doing that too.
Love that. Love a multi-use brush. And next up, I'm going to move on to eyes now, because I think this is one where people can be a bit like, oh my gosh, I feel like I need 15 different brushes. And I can be guilty of using 15 different brushes when I'm doing my own makeup and other people's. But obviously for people who just want to do a nice makeup look every day, that's not feasible. And also it depends how much time you have in the morning. So I'm going to take you through three of my favorites, starting with the blender brush. You would have seen me and Alexis talk about this quite a few times. One of our favorites. This one's great. It's nice and fluffy, but it is also still slightly dense, so it's perfect for going all over the lid. Sometimes I like to use for cream products on clients, but also it's really great for getting that nice gradient, so where the shadow sort of diffuses out. So you can use it on the lid and also in the crease area. Again, if ever you want to use the same brush twice, so long as you haven't got a dark color, what I tend to do is I just take it off on the back of my hand or an old towel and just really give it a little rub, and then that will take off most of the product, and then you can go in and use it again.
So I have got a similar one from Jane Iredale. So this is called the crease brush. Now, I have spoken about this one quite a lot because it is perfect for, you can apply with it, but it's amazing if you make a mistake. So if you're someone that is a little bit apprehensive about when you apply shadow and you don't want to go overboard and you're applying your shadow and you think, oh no, I've definitely applied too much, you simply just go in with the crease brush and it'll seamlessly blend everything together and nobody will ever know your mistakes. So this one's brilliant because it's dense, it's fluffy, and it's very forgiving.
Yes, definitely. The fluffy brush is my best friend. And then still on eyes, I've then got these two little bad boys here. This one is your smudger brush. So this is perfect for going more underneath the eye, or if you've got a palette where it's got, say, your lightest dark colours and you're wanting to get that little bit more of a smokiness, a little bit more depth, this one's great. So you would go in and then you can really press it where you want that shadow to be. So I tend to press it along my lash line, and then I would get my little powder brush and then blend it in and then work between those two. And then this one, which is more of your detailed teeny tiny brush, which is perfect for doing liner with a powder if you're someone that is a little bit nervous to do liquid. But also it's really great for if you do a liquid, going in and really blending it out so you can get that nice smoky effect. But I would say something along the lines of these three, you could create any eye look you ever wanted.
Perfect. So my final two brushes, one of which is the concealing brush. So this one is perfect for obviously applying tiny bits of brightening concealer under the eyes. Also, if you've got a tiny bit of redness that gathers around the nose or any imperfections, this is perfect for almost painting on the concealer. But again, if you're somebody that's a little bit more advanced with their makeup and you may want to do something along the lines of a cut crease glittery eye, you can simply apply the concealer to the lid prior to the glitter with this particular brush. So I think it's really, really nice and particular and detailed, so much so that you can go into all those tiny areas that you just want to conceal. And then probably one of my favourites for the eye is the bent angled eyeliner brush. Now, it is supposed to be bent like this, it's not broken. And the reason for that is because it absolutely seamlessly can help you create the perfect liner. So if you're somebody that feels like they're quite shaky when you're trying to apply the actual liner itself, you can simply apply anywhere to the eye. So if you're somebody that does underneath, if you're somebody that does on the top, if you're somebody that wants to actually create a flick, that it's perfectly bent and angled so that you can rest your hand on the eye and you can just simply press all the way along until you've created that liner that you wanted. Then you can go back in with your fluffy crease and you can smudge and blend if you wanted it to look a bit more powdery, but this one's perfect for getting that feline flick. So all in all, we've discussed how many brushes, Josie?
I've got 6. Yeah, 6.
6. And you do see makeup artists that have all these big brush belts, which absolutely, you know, if you're a pro makeup artist, yes, there may be a little bit more. But if you're wondering at home exactly what you need in your makeup bag for home use every day, and even when you might be glamming up a little bit, 6 brushes is all we generally talk about. So I hope this has been useful for you today. And if you have any questions, as ever, on any of the tools that we've used today, please feel free to comment on the video or send us both a direct message. We'd be more than happy to help. And as ever, Josie, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. And I think this might be our last one for a little while, won't it? Because of hopefully go back to work next week.
I know the announcement might be coming on right about now. So
oh yeah, fingers crossed.
And look forward to hopefully collaborating in the future.
Oh yes, exciting things to come, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.
See you soon, lovely.
Bye.
Bye.